Brothers, Found Talk. Welcome to the mob. Yeah. Yahuwah awakened the elect. We was on deck. That fully get your check. It's about respect. Draw the line like a sketch. Don't cross the threats. We pull up right on set. Forget the next. Tell them devils we got now. 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 And for real, we got now. 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 And for real, coming straight up out the text. Young and raised up by them checks. Used to wrong with no correct. Had to slow down before I read. Got them scripts up in my body. Started moving, saying let's let the ruach get my body. Now it's hard to make a mess. Keep it clean with no oops. Flying high but on swoop. You know princes never stoop. I ain't been on this truth. Keep it trucky DOT. I'm in a house, no B&B. Just a brother of the owner. Got me tucked off in the suite. 6-1 trio that unique. Now the death on appetite. Yahoo shot, he be the chief. Shoot me right up out the streets. Lock me down to 31. Call the dozy, that's the one. Early feelings showing none. I do this good, got stuff for fun. Keep them down, that's a check. Vendors never go in debt. Steady giving out for free. That's my mastermind indeed. I'm gonna represent indeed. Got this mission from the king. Yahuwah awakened the elect. We was on deck. That fully get your check. It's about respect. Draw the line like a sketch. Don't cross the threats. We pull up right on set. Forget the next. Tell them devils we got now. 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 And for real, we got now. 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 And for real. And for real. We got now. And for real. And for real. We got now. And for real.
Shalom Yasharallah. I hope all is well. I'm going to start off by letting you know I've read the next 3 chapters. I couldn't contain myself. I won't apologize. But what I read, after reading what I read, I know there's no time to waste. So we're just going to get right into this. You should be following along and taking notes. I don't know how much I can stress that. You need to be receiving the word the Most High has for you. What we're reading here in Ezekiel, it's for what we are going through and are about to go through right here and right now. Verse 1. And in the 9th year, in the 10th new moon, on the 10th of the new moon, the word of Yahuwah came to me saying. So what right there, 911. That's the numbers that are in that first verse is 9111. And you know what that number is associated with. So you should see the level, you should have a good understanding of the urgency and the need, great need to get this word. And right now, Son of man, write down on the name of the day, for on this same day the sovereign of Babel has thrown himself against Jerusalem. There was a couple things yesterday that I realized that Abba gave me the understanding to, that I found the understanding to, that I didn't have yesterday. When it said that the sons of Babel were inscribed on the wall with red. The red is a symbol of blood, but the wall is the wall built between him. So he's saying what made that wall is those sons, those false gods, Zeus and Odin and Thor and all that crap. That's what's on that wall. That's what's made the wall. And they carved it into the wall. They love it. That's what's built the wall between them and Abba. And they are the sons of Babel. That's where they were born. I missed that part yesterday. It said the sons of Babel from the land of Kasdim of their birth. And where does all this mystery come from? Mystery school, mysticism, mystery Babylon, the great whore. That's all these holidays. We wouldn't know none of this, none of these traditions if it wasn't for mystery Babylon, for Babel. And so it says the sovereign of Babel has thrown himself against Jerusalem. I don't know for sure what that means just yet, but I'm sure Abba's going to show us. Verse 3, and speak a parable to the rebellious house, and you shall say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, put on a pot, put it on, and also pour water into it. We know the melting pot, the boiling pot, is the land of America. All the different peoples have came here. All the great whoring of Babylon has been done right here in Egypt, because that's where this is. This is Egypt and Babylon, the eastern part of the United States and Canada. Canada is Canaan. The real way to say that, I saw Tucker Carlson telling that the true way to say Canada is Canada. Canada. It's the same as Cain. And it's the, if you look, all it takes is for some diligence to look, to see if what I'm saying is true. You'll see that the land of the set apart land is not over where they say it is. That's a lie. You can't prove me wrong on that. We've went through this. So the pot, what it's talking about is America. It says put in it every good piece, it says put on a pot, put it on, and also pour water into it. Pour people. Water, people is water in scripture. Pour water into it. Gather pieces of meat in it, every good piece. The thigh, the shoulder, fill it with the choice bones. Take the choice of the flock, also pile bones under it. Cook it thoroughly, also let the bones cook in it. So the choice is the best. It's when it's saying thigh and shoulder, that's strength of different people pouring it into America. Hold that note, hold that thought. And remember, it says take the choice here in verse 5. Take the choice of the flock, of something that flies, has wings. Also pile bones under it. Cook it thoroughly. Also let the bones cook in it. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, woe to the city of blood, America. And it's Jerusalem in Bible definition too, interpretation. It's just the broad scope, the broad reach of all this whoring of that America, and you know who, the people who study the tree in the midst of the garden every day. It's their religion. Woe to the city of blood, to the pot in which there is rust. Rust is what makes something that was once shiny. If it's shiny, then it's good. Abba likes it if it's shiny. But if it's rusted over, the shine's no longer there. Corrosion and from falsehood has covered its shine, and whose rust has not gone out from it when it could have. Bring it out piece by piece, on which no lot has fallen. So what comes out of there? What comes out of her? Out of the fire when it's being cooked, it will have nowhere to fall to. For her blood is in her midst. She has set it on a shining rock. She did not pour it on the ground to cover it with dust. Meaning, she put it on a shining rock. The blood that these daughters have on their hands, all these pastors who are teaching falsehood. It says, if you're a watchman and you don't watch therefore, the blood of those who you were supposed to watch therefore is on your hands. The blood, these daughters, the whore of Babylon is responsible for all this blood, all these people who are going to end up where we're going to read about here in a minute. So they put it out on a shiny rock where you can see it. They don't even try to cover it up. They're proud about it. They boast about it. They love it. These people love doing these holidays, all this stuff. They won't stop. And they think you're crazy for even thinking anything about it. There's people that pray for me. There's been prayer groups set up to pray for me because I won't celebrate and partake with this paganry. I've escaped. To stir up wrath. And they did it. They boast about it, which right here, verse 8, to stir up wrath and take vengeance. I have set her blood on a shining rock. To stir up wrath and take vengeance, he's going to put her blood on a shiny rock. He ain't going to cover it up. He's going to show everybody this is what happened to her, so that it would not be covered. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, woe to the city of blood. Let me also make the pile great. Heap on the wood, kindle the fire, cook the meat well, mixing in the spices, and let the bones be burned up. That means he's gonna turn up the heat. We've seen now he's cranking up the heat of destruction. That's what it's saying. This is a progression we're seeing that's going to happen. And that's happening. If you ain't, take a look around you. These banks, I've heard an estimate of over, like in the hundreds of banks have closed, have collapsed. All this stuff's happening. You see it ramping up all around you. The fire, he's cranking the heat up, guys. And set it on the coals. There. Yeah, he's cranking it up all the way. He's taking it off the griddle thing. He's going to put it right down in the fire to get it at its hottest. Empty. So that it gets hot and its bronze glows. And its filthiness shall be melted in it, and its rust be consumed. It has to be done. She has wearied herself with sorrows, and her great rust has not gone from her. Into the fire with her rust. In your filthiness is wickedness, because I have cleansed you, but you are not clean. You shall not be cleansed of your filthiness any more, till I have caused my wrath to rest upon you. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. It shall come, and I shall do it. I do not hold back, nor do I pardon, nor do I relent. According to your ways and according to your deeds, they shall judge you, declares the Master Yahuwah. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, see, I am taking away from you the desire of your eyes with one stroke. But do not mourn, nor weep, nor let your tears run down. So he's telling me that everything that's appealing to me, because I'm just like everybody else. I like nice cars and stuff, and motorcycles and all kinds of stuff. But all this stuff, it's a product of what the tree produces. It's the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So he's saying he's going to take it away in one stroke, but don't mourn, nor weep, nor let your tears run down. Groan silently. Make no mourning for the dead. And I've been, and man, if anyone's been following me for any amount of time, you see how that right there is an answer to what I struggled with for so long with. I struggled with having to know that all the people I love will be no more someday, and how, if I would be able to overcome it, and how would I deal with it? He says right here, groan silently. That's why a lot of this callous has been built up on me, to certain things. He's been preparing me, getting me ready for such a day as this. We are in this day. Bind your turban on your head and put your sandals on your feet. Do not cover your upper lip, and do not eat man's bread of sorrow. What he's saying to those who have escaped, don't cover your upper lip. You know, like a grumpy old man that has no teeth and his bottom lip covers his top one, like he's just mad all the time. Put a smile on your face, and don't listen to none of this, anything that these people who are groaning and moaning and crying about what's happening to them. Don't believe anything they say, because whatever they're going through, it's not for you. It's for them. Put a smile on your face, and just know that if you are in that secret place of the Most High, if you're on His mind, you abide under the shadow of His wings. Nothing can touch you. And I spoke to the people in the morning, and in the evening my wife died. And the next morning I did as I was commanded. And the people said to me, "Would you not explain to us what these matters you are doing mean to us?" And I said to them, "The word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, speak to the house of Yasharallah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am profaning my set-apart place. The pride of your strength, the desire of your eyes, and the delight of your being." See, right there proves that that's what the set-apart place is. It's if you are on His mind, if you are the apple of His eye, which gives you strength, which is where you ended up getting your pride from. It's what's give you the delight of your being, where you just can walk around giggling all day and just having a blast. That's where you get that from. Just the fact that you're breathing air, that you're here alive, and that you can have joy, that you get it from Him. The desire of your eyes, and your sons and your daughters whom you left behind shall fall by the sword. And you shall do as I have done. Do not cover your upper lip, nor eat man's bread of sorrow. We know bread means word. And so that means when all the stuff you hear on the news, all that stuff, don't buy into it. Don't feed into it. Don't listen to it so you can navigate what's going on. Because when you are hip to all the bullshit, you can see exactly what's happening by what they're lying about, what they're trying to cover up. You can see. And let your turbans remain on your heads and your sandals on your feet. Do not mourn nor weep, but you shall pine away in your crookedness and groan with one another. That means this is what you say to them people. Go on and pine away. Have fun, buddy. Keep buying houses and getting married, giving one another in marriage, just like in the days of Noah. Go right ahead. But those who are watching, therefore, we see what's coming. We see what you have been doing and you're still doing, and what's about to happen to you guys. And Ezekiel shall be a sign to you. Do according to all that he has done. When this comes, you shall know that I am the Master Yahuwah. It'll be more confirmation. When you see how this is lined up with what's going on today, and when what he just said happens, you're going to know. And you, son of man, on the day when I take from them their stronghold, the joy of their adorning, the desire of their eyes, and the lifting up of their being, their sons and their daughters. On that day, one that has escaped shall come to you to let you hear it with your ears. There you go. I can tell you, I've escaped. The Most High showed me, hallelujah, Yahuwah, all honor, all praise, all glory, and all esteem to him. He showed me what the tree in the garden was, where the land was, all these great pearls that I had to find to enter into those pearly gates. I've escaped. And when I come on YouTube and read the word to you and show you the understanding that he has give to me through your ears, you need to be taking notes if you want to live. Try and prove me wrong on that. Maybe you'll see that it's a zillion % true. On that day, one that has escaped shall come to you to let you hear it with your ears. On that day, your mouth shall be open to him who has escaped, and you shall speak and no longer be silent. And you shall be a sign to them, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. There you go. How long have I been trying to rally you guys up, pep you guys up, to get you to get on your horns and give all esteem, have I not? That's what this is about, y'all. Face down, but with your sleeves rolled up, suited and booted, putting out esteem and understanding and the word, bread for our brethren out here across these airwaves, the best you can. Let's go straight to it. Chapter 25. I'm already way behind, so let's get this while we can. Verse 1, and the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against the Ammonites, and prophesy against them. And you shall say to the Ammonites, Hear the word of the Master Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, because you said, Aha, against my set-apart place, when it was profaned, and against the land of Yasharal, when it was ruined, and against the house of Yehuda, when they went into exile. I'm not 100% sure who these Ammonites are, but he's showing me, he's inching me closer to it, and I know that he's going to give me the answer to that in its due time. Abba knows best. He, like I've said so many times before, he knows all the right moves. Therefore, see, I am giving you as a possession to the men of the east, and they shall set their encampments among you, and make their dwellings among you. They shall eat your fruit, and they shall drink your milk. Okay, I'm not going to go over there and try to click on anything else, but if you haven't noticed, the amount of combat fighting age Chinese men that have been crossing the borders has went up by 925%. I just saw it. There's busloads of them. Go look it up, of Chinese men coming across. You should see they're beating the war drums. There's no way you shouldn't know what's happening right now. That's what this is talking about. They're coming in. They've been coming in, dwelling amongst the people in this land. And I shall make Rabbah a pasture for camels, and Ammon a resting place for flocks. When he's talking about camels, he's talking about land, military vehicles, tanks, and Hummers, all that sort of stuff. And I looked up Rabbah, and the only Rabbah I could find was in Long Beach, California. Yeah. And then it says, and Ammon a resting place for flocks. And I'm not for sure, but I think Ammon is from where Babylon is, from Babel. So that would be out east, where you think the people from the R country would come from, where people have been given dreams. People have prophesied about this, saying that this is how it would go down, that they would come from the east and the guys from the sea country would come from the west. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. And we know that the men of the east is what's going on. You've seen them today, I think it was, or yesterday. Their two presidents, Xi Jinping and Putin, met. And it was unprecedented that they went and met. They went there to basically to say, you ready to get this thing on? Are you ready to do this? Are we going to do this or what? That's what they met up about. That's what the meeting was over. It was to go ahead and get the final agreement to do what they're about to do. So you know where they're going to be parking their airplanes. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. For this is what the Master Yahuwah said, because you clapped your hands and you stamped your feet and rejoiced with all the scorn of your being against the land of Yasharal. When he says land, that's literal land of Yasharallah. Because you clapped your hands and you stamped your feet and rejoiced with all the scorn of your being against the land. What you did in the land. Therefore, see, I myself shall stretch out my hand against you and give you as plunder to the nations. And I shall cut you off from the peoples and make you perish from the lands. I shall destroy you, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. So, back here in verse 25, he said, give you as plunder to the nations. All these, no one's dealing with America anymore. If you haven't seen, they're setting up this BRIC nation agreement where Mexico, them got both of those big countries. I don't even like saying their names. A bunch of them. Saudi Arabia, they are all coming together to start trading with one another, and they're leaving America out of it. And I shall cut you off from the peoples. Where they have their influence to, this country, it's about to get cut off and make you perish from the lands. I was just watching this thing where they were on 60 Minutes. They were talking about how the America's military and Navy and all this is depleted and it's not ready for what's about to come to it. It can't even, it's a no-brainer. And they have territory, that Guam, they own that island of Guam that's over there in the South China Sea that's right by like Taiwan. They pretty much own Taiwan and Japan and South Korea. They've invaded that country's space. And they're about ready to perish from all those places. All those strongholds, those footholds they made in World War II, they're about ready to be pushed back dramatically. This is what the Master Yahuwah said. Because Moab and Seir say, see, the house of Yehuda is like all the nations. Therefore, see, I am opening the flank of Moab on the side of the cities, on the side of his cities, on its frontiers. The splendor of the land. Beth, Yeshemoth, Baal Meon, and I can't say that last name, but I found Meon. It's, if you go look over in Utah, in Colorado and Arizona, where Moab is, that big red spot, there's you can find Meon, Navajo Meon Nation of Native Americans with that name Meon, where it says Baal Meon. And you can see how it's exactly what it's talking about, because there's a flank that you can see that's going to open up. If you look at the land, do your due diligence, go look, and you'll see Moab, and you'll see the cities on its frontiers. You'll see the big ledge of mountains, a big frontier, like a whatever, like a line, a kind of half moon shaped edge of cities. And that's where he's going to have the flank open up to Moab, because they did this to the land. They did whatever he's talking about to the land. And I shall give it together with the Ammonites He's given it with the Ammonites as a possession to the men of the east. He's going to give it to them. And I've been talking about this since day one, what was going to happen, how they were going to come here. And so that the Ammonites are no more remembered among the nations. Also on Moab I execute judgments, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, because of what Edom has done against the house of Yehudah by taking vengeance, so that they became very guilty, and that they have taken vengeance on them. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, I shall stretch out my hand against Edom, and I shall cut off man and beast from it, and lay it waste. From Taman even to Dedan, they shall fall by the sword. And I shall lay my vengeance on Edom by the hand of my people Yasharallah, and they shall do in Edom according to my displeasure and according to my wrath, so that they shall know my vengeance, declares the Master Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, because the Philistines have acted in vengeance and took vengeance with scorn in their being, to destroy with lasting enmity. Therefore, I think that's talking about the elites, because out in Moab, if you look on a map, there's all kinds I found this big sun-like thing out in the middle of there, where you can tell some kind of weird ritual crap's going on. We know about what goes on out in there, out in the desert and stuff. There's probably a lot of really evil crap, like Bohemian Grove kind of stuff going on out in there. I've seen it. I found a spiral one time out there in Nevada in the desert, and there was a street view pic of it. This was on Google Earth, and there were men in white robes walking around that spiral in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't get to save it, and I can't find it. I could probably find it again if I went and looked hard, but I do have the suns saved. I have all kinds of stuff I could show you. I've showed it on here before. So I think that's what it's talking about, because like Silicon Valley, like the Hollywood, a lot of the southwestern part of America, western part of America, the people that are largely responsible for the whoring that's went on, they probably live out there. That's where the fallen, the Ashurians live, is in them hills. The fallen angels live in the hills, mostly where Los Angeles is. We've talked about this. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am stretching out my hand against the Philistines, and I shall cut off the Korethites and destroy the remnant of the sea coast, and execute great vengeance on them with raging reproofs, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah when I lay my vengeance upon them. Okay, we're going to read this chapter 26, the last one. Till next time, hopefully sooner rather than later. Verse 1, and it came to be in the 11th year, on the first of the new moon, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, so what numbers do we have there? 111. Which is a sign of judgment, and something big is about to a major change is coming. That's what that means. From judgment. That's what judgment does. Everything changes. Son of man, because Sur has spoken against Jerusalem, aha, she, the gateway of the peoples, has been broken. She has been turned over to me. Let me be filled. She has been ruined. And I think that could be talking about, not for sure, I think that's talking about the guys who fool with that tree. They talk about that tree. The Kabbalah, those people. I think that's who that's talking about. They've spoken out against Jerusalem, against Christianity and stuff like that. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am against you, O Sur, and shall cause many nations to come up against you as the sea causes its waves to come up. A flood, tidal waves, as they shall destroy the walls of Sur. See, that is who it's talking about, because they're the ones who make the wall. With all those men men's images carved on them. The holidays, the star, all of this stuff. Go watch my video I made a couple years ago about where it has the tent of Molech in the title. Woe to those who make their tent with Molech and the star of Remphan. Go watch that. And they shall destroy the walls of Sor, and they shall break down her towers, and I shall scrape her dust from her, and shall make her like a shining rock. Make her like a shining rock, so everyone sees what happened. The shining rock, we were just reading, that's where blood was, where they put their blood out there where everybody could see it instead of covering it with dust. So he's going to make her like a shining rock, that Sor. She shall be a place for spreading nets in the midst of the sea. People are going to be just snatching them up. For I have spoken, declares the Master Yahuwah, and she shall become plunder for the nations, while her daughter villages which are in the fields are killed by the sword. Her daughter, right there, Mystery Babylon. This must be Sor. That's what the Kabbalah is. It's Mystery Babylon. And we know what her daughters are. And the fields is where people reside. And they will be killed by the sword, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. For thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am bringing against Sor from the north Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, a sovereign of sovereigns, with horses and with chariots and with horsemen, even an assembly of many people. Okay, so we know that Babel is where Mystery Babylon comes from, all these holidays. So when it says Nebuchadnezzar, what does that tell me? Well, we know we've been talking about the last kingdom in his dream that Daniel interpreted for him was the feet of iron and clay. I've been talking about this too since the beginning. It's the mixing. That's what this is talking about, because we know horses are vehicles. The white horse, when it was released, that's what the roll up your sleeve rode in here on. The white coats, the massive wave of nurses dancing on TV, all this stuff. That's what that was. And then the horse of war. And now comes the horse of the scarcity of food, and with the scales in his hands, with the collapse of all these banks. And you know, the only horse left is that one of death, the pale horse. There won't be nothing left. It's going to be over with. So that's what's coming. That should tell you right there that it's more of that. The people that wear these hexagons, these cubes, and the 6-pointed stars, that love it, they're coming. That's what they're doing. You see it. They're trying to set up this Agenda 2030 with electric cars. It's everywhere. With the sword, he shall kill your daughters in the field. All them churches, you already seen, they shut down in the field where all the people are. They were shutting churches down. The cops were coming in and shutting them down. And he shall heap up a siege mound against you, meaning you won't get out of it. That locks you in there, and shall build a wall against you, all around you, and shall raise a large shield against you. That means you won't be able to do nothing to them. They're going to put in laws and all this, FEMA, all this stuff. It's in place. It's been swirled all up, and it's almost to the climax. That's what this is. You ain't going to be able to do nothing about it if you haven't escaped. That's what it's saying. And set the blow of his battering rams against your walls. Anything that you still have, any fight left in you, they're going to be they're going to have the battling ram ramming it, and break down your towers with his weapons. From his many horses their dust shall cover you. From the noise of the horsemen and vehicles and chariots, your wall shall strike, as he enters your gates, as men enter a city that is breached. The mark. With the hoofs of his horse, he tramples all your streets. He kills your people by the sword, and the columns of your strength shall fall to the ground. And they shall plunder your riches, and they shall loot your merchandise. There's that money. And they shall break down your walls and destroy your pleasant houses, and they shall put your stones and your timber and your dust in the midst of the water. And I shall cause the sound of your songs to cease, and let the sound of your lyres be heard no more. That means that last verse, the end of verse 12, that means nobody's going to want to hear about you anymore. They won't even mention any of this crap anymore. And you ain't going to, there'll be no, playtime is over. When it's saying, I shall cause the sound of your songs to cease, that means all happiness, all your little charades, your little holidays is done. And I shall make you like a shining rock, and let you be a place for spreading nets, never to be rebuilt. For I, Yahuwah, have spoken, declares the Master, Abba Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah to Sor, would the coastlands not shake at the sound of your fall, when the wounded cry, when the killing occurs in your midst? And all the princes of the sea shall come down from their thrones, and they shall lay aside their robes and take off their embroidered garments and put on trembling and sit on the ground. In that 60 Minutes thing, they were, the lady was interviewing like the general of this destroyer, or this aircraft carrier, one of the biggest ones. That's over in the South China Sea. And you could see the fear in his eyes as he was telling her, explaining to her how they're not ready, and that the other countries are. Even though he was trying to sugarcoat a lot of it, you could see, you got the picture when you watched that special. They're going to come down, take their uniforms off. They have been thinking for the longest time that there's no one that can touch this country, that their military is untouchable. But you're going to see, it says, all the princes of the sea shall come down from their thrones upon them big ships, and they shall lay aside their robes, their uniforms, and take off all their medals, all that kind of crap. But they're going to put on trembling and sit on the ground, and they shall tremble continuously, and they shall be astonished at you, and they shall take up a lamentation for you and say to you, how you have perished, O one inhabited by seafaring men, the city well praised. There you go. Who was strong at sea. Yes, she was. She was the strongest navy that's ever sailed the seas, but not anymore. Not anymore. Not by a long shot. She and her inhabitants, who put their fear on all her inhabitants, did they not? That's exactly who this is talking about. Now the coastlands tremble on the day of your fall. Both coasts, no joke, are going to be invaded. Yes, they will. And the coastlands by the sea shall shudder at your going out. For thus said the Master Yahuwah, when I make you a ruined city like the cities no longer inhabited, when I bring the deep upon you and great waters cover you, many people, it's coming. Then I shall bring you down with those who go down into the pit, to the people of old. Right there. And I shall bring you down with those. He's going to take you and those who go down into the pit. Who are they? They're the people of old. They're the Ashurians, the fallen angels, who these movie stars sell their soul to. Those people. Satan. And I shall make you dwell in the lowest part of the earth, in waste of old, with those who go to the pit, so that you do not return. That great lake of fire. You'll be done. You won't return. but I shall establish splendor in the land of the living. If you escape, and you literally have to escape too. And when it says land, that's talking literal land. The land of the living, you must come to. I won't talk about it unless you come to me, and I'll tell you all you want to know, but not on here, for obvious reasons. I make you a whore and let you be no more, and you are sought for, but never found again, declares the Master Yahuwah. Finally, Babylon will be no more. None of this crap will continue to exist. It's coming, and I know you can see it around you. That's even more reason you need to be in His Word. Suited and booted, baby. Till next time, He's out.